Good morning. Sun shining. It's Saturday. Coffee is in hand. Well, part of the time anyway. But I'm just listening. I love listening to people's conversations. I know it's like, why are you listening to my conversation? But like also, it allows me to have different thoughts. So like, of course I'm going to do it. And one thing I just kind of was thinking about was different consciousness levels. So you will identify with this, because if you don't, we've got a serious problem. Or maybe we don't, who knows. But being able to identify consciousness levels within people is really fun, but also really a way of kind of just letting go, to be honest. And I'll explain. So when you have differing opinions and differing thoughts and ways of being, it's not necessarily I'm right, you're wrong, right? And that's what we've been taught to believe. Not taught to believe, but like that's how we kind of interpret the world is, oh, you're right, I'm wrong, because I'm right. And you're wrong. I don't think that made sense, but you know what I mean. Anyway. And it's like, well, no, your consciousness level is actually just different to mine, and my understanding of what I'm going through and what my opinion is of that situation is just different to yours, because your consciousness level is different to mine, and that's okay. I feel like if we all actually take into account the fact that we're human consciousness and that we compute as human beings differently to each other, understand differently to each other, know differently to each other, internally resonate with things differently to each other, God, the world would be a much nicer and calmer place. If you would have an argument with someone and be able to be like, you know what, you've just got a different understanding to me, and that's okay. Let's just let that be. Could you imagine what the world would be like? But we've been taught that, war is part of life, fighting is part of life, and being in lower vibrations is also like the way of life, right? But where you can, like, take into account where you differ in terms of consciousness levels. Because realistically, you're no different to each other. You just have a different level of understanding, because your brain takes in information in a different way to someone else's. And that's how it should be. It's how it should be. There is nothing wrong with it. There is nothing to be sorted. It's the way it should be. We just have to have a conscious understanding that when we disagree on something, or when we have differing opinions, or when we have different understandings of how we should be in this life, we let it go. Let it go. Because, well, you can try and help the other person understand your way of being, and like, pure example is like, I might have a differing opinion to my mum, who does one thing one way and I do one thing another way. And she's like, what? Why do you do it that way? And it's because either I've decided to do it that way in a past tense, like just being like, okay, well, I'm going to try it this way, and if it works for me, I'll keep doing it that way. Or if it's I've been taught by someone to do it a certain way. But for her, it's the exact same thing, just on different timelines, right? I wasn't existent on her timeline when she learned things at a young age, and now I'm existing on my own timeline and learning things in my own course. Literally, we're on a course. This whole fucking earth is a course. But in all seriousness, if you're arguing with someone now, or like not in a good place with someone, or want to be, take a step back and like zoom your lens out and just be like, well, could it be that their consciousness level, wow, I just can't speak today. Could it be that their consciousness level is just different to mine, and their ability to see through the dust and see through the fog and see through the cloud just isn't there, and that's okay because I see it for them. And when you see it for them, you then make changes within your life to ensure that you don't get clouded by the same vision. And that's what the work really is, ancestrally anyway. It's taking what you know to not be our current way of being and transmuting it into a high vibration so that you can live it out through your own life. That sounds about right. Who knows, really? But anyway, I'm going to get back to writing. I've fallen in love with writing again, so yeah, let's go and do that. Okay, have a good day. Happy Saturday.